By the title of the video, it should say that college is a scam. Now, my meaning for this is something that I'm going to delve into and get into a little bit later in the video. But just by you clicking on this, I just want to get out a quick disclaimer real quick before I even get into the video. I don't mean this in a bad way or a derogative way or, just a degraded and negative way. If you absolutely need to go there, for your career choice, family choice, just ethics and things of that nature's, stuff to make it necessary to where you absolutely, need to go, then I respect that by all means. And I'm not trying to bash you or anybody that chooses to take that route and do that to honor whatever that may be, for you taking that choice and going into college and spending all the time and the years there and spending money there. So I just want to say that and commend anybody that's doing that and give my respect out to, anybody that's doing that. And I'm not trying to bash anybody in any type of way. Another thing is this video is not bullet pointed. It's not scripted. This is straight off the dome. Just something I want to get off my chest. I say that in a lot of my videos like this. That's just me coming on the camera and just expressing myself real quick. When I'm not, really having anything too much structured on what I want to say. And also, this is coming from, a high school senior, technically, well, not high school senior, but graduated, but still not that, far off from when I graduated. So, just take that in mind when I'm speaking. This is coming from somebody who is not currently in college. Who knows, I maybe could go later on in the future. But this is just from somebody who's a high school graduate. That would be the better way of saying it. And just coming on here and giving my 2 cents about it. And this is, how I felt about it for the longest time. Even when I was just beginning to start high school. So with all that being said, we gonna get that up out of the way so I don't make this video too long, and we just gonna get straight into it. Now, like I said, with the title of the video and what I was, referring to it in the beginning, college is a scam. And you may be asking me, what do I mean by that? Well, it's kind of like multiple factors that you can put into it to, identify it and kind of think of it as a scam. And like I said, you know what I mean? I don't really have anything too much scripted out. So these are just going to be some of the things that I just can think of and know of off the bat. Just when it comes to mind. And one of the main things is your degree. Your degree, straight up. Your degree. You know what I mean? You can graduate high school with the best GPA ever, have all the best, universities, trying to recruit you and get you to come to their school. You go there and, you know what I mean? You may be majoring in one of the, most highest paying jobs, one of the most, typical or common, jobs that can set somebody up to be successful later on in life, you know what I mean, and be able to make a good income and make a good wage and just overall live good. But the thing I want to say about that is, you know what I mean, you can go there and say, for instance, you can, become a doctor, become an orthodontist, become a lawyer, you know what I mean, become a forensics, science person, as far as for like, criminal, that's what I was meaning, FBI and all that stuff like that, forensics, to say it in a short way, but what I'm trying to refer to and get at is that you could spend all this time and money, on, the career choice in which you are majoring in, and, get your degree and graduate, but you're not guaranteed with a job position as soon as you get out of college. You know what I mean? And this is just not me speaking. This is stuff that's been proven, in articles and stuff like that. If you go and do the research yourself, you know what I mean? It's a lot of people that's, you know, putting in the work and doing the best that they can. And as soon as they come out of college and graduate, they think they got a brand new job application open for them right there and then in an instance, but it really don't work in that way. And you know what I mean? Even when you trying to work in those type of fields that I listed out, and all of those, have one thing in common, they can make you a good, wage to be able to become successful and live off of that, for a long time if you use the money wisely. But if you think about it, you know what I mean? If you're not set up and really rich to be able to play the game of college, because I feel like at the end of the day, college is just a business in the grand scheme of things. It's just a business. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to take away from the fact that you can't go there to seek knowledge and, learn not only about, the curriculum, that side of things, and learning, different things like that, like actual curriculum knowledge, as far as different subjects like math and all that, the typical stuff, but also just learning how to network and become, successful with, making connections with people and just being able to overall function as an adult in this, society today. But I feel like at the end of the day, and you could just factor this in with just the whole concept of it in general, but student loans, you know what I mean? Student loans. And that's another thing, because even if you do end up getting a job right off the bat once you come out of college, and it's something formidable and something good like the jobs that I listed out, you're not going to be starting, you're not going to be getting the starting pay that you would per se get 5, 6, 10, 15 years in to that career job. So when you sitting back and you graduate and you got that diploma, you still are going to be trapped in a rat race. You're going to be trapped in a hamster wheel, because you're going to have to pay back those student loans, from attending the university or the school that you went to. And, that can get expensive, you know what I mean? Especially depending on where you go to. You know what I mean? And, you starting out and you may be thinking, you may be able to get some good money, but, you know what I mean? You start at, different wages. It's just subjective, and that could be with any other job too, just in general. And I'm not trying to say that to make it sound like a general shock or anything new, but, it's just something that, can happen with anything. But the way I'm more pertaining to it towards college is because you're going to be stuck, in them first 5 to 10 years having to pay back them student loans until you're able to get a high enough wage to pay them back in full. Because, the student loans is just going to outweigh how much you probably even make in a year and loan at that in general. And that's just something I don't get. That's the main purpose of college, and why I don't understand the concept of it is the student loan aspect. And like I said, this is just my point of view on it, and just what I always thought about it. So, you could think I'm wrong or you could think I'm right, but I'm just coming on here and being as truthful and honest with myself as I could be, and I'm not gonna try to lie and sugarcoat it in any type of manner or any type of way. And you know what I mean? That's just what I'm gonna, say it as. That's just what I'm gonna factor it as. And not only that, you know what I mean? Couple other things to think of, like applying for FAFSA loans, trying to get, assistance on paying your student loans, knowing that you don't even got the money to be, paying for the expenses and the student loans, at that, as you going through it and afterwards, you know what I mean? And that's another thing. I feel like if you don't, if you're not even making enough money, or you don't got, enough money from your parents to even be able to go to college, why should you be going in the first place? You know what I mean? Because I feel like, with most families, they want their, the offsprings and their, the generations ahead of them to go to college, to further, you know, just the knowledge that they can to seek out and get, and further the next generation so they can be better than, them in the previous generation. But I feel like if you send, your kids, or, people in your family to college without having the money to back that, I feel like you just setting them back even further. You know what I mean? And like I said, unless you, have the money to, pay for the expenses and all that as you going throughout um the whole experience. But if not, I feel like you setting yourself back, because you know what I mean, even though you're acquiring that knowledge and, on different topics and stuff like that, that you may need to be able to, go through and be successful in your career choices, just in life in general, how are you going to be able to afford the whole, the whole new generation without putting some funds behind it? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make it money based or anything like that, but you want to have that kind of set up. So say for instance, if the previous generation struggled, you can have the assets and use that power of money to help, further the new generation so they don't have to deal with the same stuff that they went through. That's why I feel like it would be kind of setting the new generation up for failure, because, they getting set back or just stuck in the same place financial wise. And that's just another thing I think about that when it comes to pertaining to, the whole FAFSA aspect, and just not being able to afford it, in the first place. I just don't feel like you should even go if you don't have the pockets to, be able to take care of that in the first place. You know what I mean? There's so many other factors that I could add in and probably talk about, um, you know, in another video. So I may do that, um, depending on how I'm feeling it and what I want to, just add and include into, into it more. But I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to stretch it out. I don't want to prolong it and start to sound too redundant. Because like I said, this is just me coming on here and giving thoughts on it anyways. You know what I mean? Not trying to be too perfect or anything like that. And I'm not trying to bash anybody that did or is taking the route of going to college. I got nothing but the utmost respect for you. I got friends that's in college right now, as I'm speaking. Some of them is athletes, some of them is not. but I still give respect to anybody that decided to take that route anyways, you know what I mean? And another thing is just I just don't like school in general, you know what I mean? I really don't like the whole concept of how schools are teaching kids nowadays, and I just feel like the system is outdated on how they do that. But that could be a whole nother video. That could be a whole hour-long video. So, I'm not gonna try to prolong this and stretch it out any longer. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it in the comment section below. Let me know if it's some things that, you thought I could have included to it just to, speak on it. But like I said, this is just what I think about it. And, I most likely, maybe, probably not, will do a part 2 just going in depth on why I think this way. And, like I said, I could make a whole separate video on why, I just don't like the whole way, school is being set up, with the learning system and just in general. But with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And peace.